So what's really being pointed to here is our innate wholeness. That which is inseparable from all that is experienced. It includes everything. It includes every experience, but is not limited by that experience. When we're in touch with this, we are in harmony with existence itself. Not a mental harmony or an intellectual harmony or a conceptual ideological harmony. You don't have to agree or like everything. There's discernment on that level. There's preference on that level. But when you live from beingness, because it's natural, it's not something you have to apply effort to. It's more a sinking into. Then you are in harmony with the current of life, the current of existence. You're in harmony with the totality. Which means you don't have to fight it or reject it. When I say it, it's whatever is being experienced in your direct experience. That's the current of life moving through you. When we stop rejecting and fighting, then we're not divided from ourselves. We're not fragmented. And when we're not fragmented, not divided, we live nakedly. Nakedly simply means without the veils of identity. I am this, I am that. I am this and I am that takes many forms. One of the most prevalent forms is the victim identity. The poor me, which takes many forms. Poor me can be formed out of things that have happened to us, experiences that were painful, unwelcome circumstances, feelings, emotions that we don't like, don't want, are afraid of. Then we are a victim. The victim identity forms itself. This shouldn't have happened to me. I shouldn't be feeling this. You can also be a victim of the world circumstances. This shouldn't be happening. How do you know it shouldn't be happening? Much bigger forces, cycles taking place. Galactic cycles, universal cycles, cosmic cycles. That we have no direct evidence of, but can intuit, can feel. I don't mean feel on a kind of emotional level, but a vibrational level. When we move from being, when we live from being, we are not in opposition. We are aligned naturally, not through a belief system, but through our very beingness. Aligned with the evolution of consciousness that takes place through you as you, not because you're spiritual, but because you are deeply rooted in beingness, the wholeness, holistic. You're not divided into many parts. This part and that part, my good self, my bad self, my wounded self, my special self, my victorious self, my vanquished self. You're not divided. There are not many selves. There's only one beingness. Move from that. Find out what that means. It's not an intellectual concept. How do we access it? Surrender the self, or rather, surrender the many selves. Surrender is stop giving allegiance when the victim arises. The one that rejects, the one that resists, the one that opposes. Instead of giving allegiance to that, which fragments you, it separates you. You feel separate, you feel alone, you feel victimized, you feel hard done by, you feel angry, you feel scared. It's okay to have feelings. It's not a denial of feelings. I'm just coming into it in a different way. But it's so easy. It's like a knee-jerk reaction to give allegiance unconsciously, mechanically, to any part that has the loudest voice within you, because it gives some sense of solidity to the construct of self. It's not the true self, it's the imagined self, the one that's been made up over the many stories and experiences of narratives. Then that makes you feel safe, it makes you feel secure, but it's a false safety, a false security. What I'm inviting is a surrender when that happens and you feel that pull and you feel that, you know when you've kind of separated from life, you've separated from being. You feel disconnected. That in that moment, surrender, stop. It's a stop, it's a soft stop. It's a light touch on experience. It's a light touch on life. It's a light touch on the world. It's a light touch on yourself. It's a light touch on feelings, emotions. It's a light touch on everything that arises as the content of your experience, which is your life, which is you. That's what surrender is. It's not a surrender to anything. It's not a surrender to the enemy. There is no enemy. It's a surrender of the knee-jerk reaction to tighten into an identity as this or that. Remain as the I of awareness, not the me. I am this, I am that, I am that. That's division. Remain as the I of awareness. That's what beingness is. Beingness, it's undivided. You can't touch it, you can't hold it, you can't grasp it. It's not there outside of you, and neither is it inside of you. when you drop into beingness, examine. It's everywhere and nowhere because it's not an it. It's openness itself. It is open. It's open but without a boundary, without an edge. It can't open or close. Beingness can't close. Openness can't close. It can be occluded, obscured by the veils, the many veils of the self that believes itself to be this or that believes itself to be many identities, many selves. In surrender, in the stop, the veils of self come undone. You fall into the infinity of beingness, the finite self, which is really just a construct, falls into, in other words, dies into the infinity of being, which is what happens at death anyway. So it's a dying before you die. That's what surrender is. It's beautiful. It's freedom. And it's revolutionary. Because in some ways it opens you, or it brings you into harmony with the creative impulse of life. It's like the river that was constrained as a little trickle opens up into an ocean, so it can move through you. This brings value to your life, and you bring value to life.